What's up, everybody? Welcome to the latest webisode episode of Real Health TV. As always, I'm your host, Dr. Taylor, talking to you about how you can really maximize your health, get real health, and really, looking at it through the 5 essentials of maximized living. What are the 5 areas of my life that I need to be looking at to make sure that I can experience real health, for myself and for my family? And today we're talking to you from the essential of number 5. That is minimizing your exposure to toxicity, okay? And one of the reasons that this is a huge concern is, the disease rates in America, they're going through the roof. They have been, for several decades. And there are a lot of factors that play a role there, the diets that we eat, living a sedentary lifestyle, things like that that absolutely play a role. But one of the most overlooked areas of this is actually toxicity, knowing where toxins are coming from, knowing how they can accumulate in the body and build up and create problems down the road. And the problems that I'm talking about are, if you really think about the rates of disease today, cancer, is that getting any better or is that getting any worse? It's getting worse. It continues to get worse. Asthma rates have tripled in the last few decades. 1 in 10 kids now have asthma. The autism rates have skyrocketed through the roof. And one of the areas that we have to look at is toxicity. Where are these toxins coming from? And that's what I want to talk to you about today. What are the 5 most common areas that you're getting toxicity from in you and your family's life? And I want to start with number 1, and that's medications. Okay, and so this is not to tell you, hey, if you take a medication, stop it right now. We can't legally give you that advice. You need to work with your doctor and consult your physician on this. But the bottom line is, all toxins are a foreign substance. They're usually a lab-made synthetic foreign substance that your body has to detoxify. It makes the liver work harder. And even something, as simple as Tylenol. Acetaminophen is actually the number 1 cause of liver failure in our country because the liver is your body's main detoxifier, and it has to break those medications down. And so that's the first thing is, not just dumping your medications and getting off of them, but really asking yourself that question, why am I on this? Why do I have to take this medication? And looking for the cause, and then doing everything that you possibly can to get off of that medication. And that's one of the reasons that, when our patients come in and they get off their medications, just like these, here's gabapentin, Zofran, and trazodone, 3 of the most common medications. But we're so excited when our patients come in and they dump these in our drug freedom bin, because not just because they're not supplying the pharmaceutical company with their money, but the biggest thing is that this is a sign that your body's healthy and healing, right? A body that's healthy doesn't need any medications. I take no medications. My wife takes no medications, not because we're against them, but because our bodies are healthy and healing. The second one are your household and personal care products, and this is really one of the biggest exposures today. In fact, they did a study where they tested 20 different girls, high school age girls. They found that on a daily basis, they were applying 17 different products. So that's lotions, creams, makeups, mascara, all these things, with a total of 174 ingredients. A lot of these ingredients have never been tested. A lot of these ingredients have been tested, and they've been shown to lead to an increased risk of cancer, increase in hormone or endocrine disruption, things like that. So you want to be aware of where you're getting toxins from in your household and in your personal care products. So that's, your lotions, your makeups, but also, your cleaning supplies, things like that you're exposed to, on a regular basis. And there are other videos. Make sure that you check out the other videos that will tell you a little bit more, about how you're doing in this area. The third one is your tap water. So this is a big one because we're exposed to it all the time. So not only are we drinking it, but the biggest exposure really comes from your shower. When you take a shower, your pores open up, the water steams. This releases different toxins and allows them to get into your body even faster than it would if you were drinking it. So you want to make sure with your tap water. Another thing about this is a quick, easy fix. Get a filter on your sink. Get a filter on your shower. There are different degrees of good, better, best filters, but any filter is going to be better than no filter. The next one down here is Teflon cookware. So that's a big one, if you're doing a lot of cooking on the stove And if you've ever, been bent over your skillet and cooking something up, gotten really lightheaded or starting getting nauseous or dizzy, that's from the chemicals that come from your Teflon cookware. It's actually scheduled to be banned in the upcoming years, and it's banned in a lot of other countries because it's been linked to increased risk of cancer and other serious diseases. So that's an easy one. Once again, switch it out. Go with ceramic, go with stainless, go with cast iron. There are a lot of good options that are still relatively non-stick that aren't as dangerous as Teflon. And then the last one here is plastics. This is a big one. So we all see, today in our water bottles, they all say BPA free. So that's something that we want to look for, right? But what they've found now is that BPA is not the only problem. They're actually replacing BPA with other BPs, other bisphenols. So now there's BPS, BPB, these other BPs that cause the same problems, but there's no BPA, so they can still put the sticker on there. So that's your bottled water bottles, your Nalgene's, anything that you're drinking from, anything that you're microwaving your food in, storing your food in. We don't store our food in any plastic. We use all glass, all ceramic. We don't use a microwave. And if we do use plastic, like I have some plastic shakers and things like that, I never dishwash them. I hand wash them every time, and they're BPA free. The other one too with plastics though to be aware of is this is up from your kids' toys too, the toys that your kids are exposed to. And here's a great book on this. We talk about this in the office, and it's called Slow Death by Rubber Ducky, The Secret Danger of Everyday Things. So look at this book, look it up online, find out how these toxins, could be affecting you or your family. Find out what you need to do to get rid of them or to at least minimize your exposure, and make sure that you're taking the action steps necessary so that you're not poisoning your family. One of the things that we always say is, I always ask people if we're in a group, raise your hand if you'd ever give a kid a cigarette. And I've never gotten a hand up, right? And the reason why is because we know that cigarettes are toxic. The only difference between cigarettes and these other things is we just don't know as well. They haven't been exposed as much. So when you start to look at some of these household items the same way that you would look at a cigarette or even secondhand smoke, you're going to want to avoid your exposure to these and avoid your family's exposure. And another thing is make sure that you're checking our Facebook page, make sure that you're checking our Instagram, get on our Pinterest board, look at our toxicity board. You can really get a good idea of where these toxins are coming from and some simple steps that you can take to minimize your exposure, get rid of some of the toxic products, bring in some clean, natural products where you're not adding toxins to your toxicity bucket, and make sure that you're taking the action steps necessary to live a maximized life. So once again, this is Dr. Taylor with Real Health TV, Salt Lake City, bringing you the most cutting-edge information on health and wellness today. So I hope everybody has a great day, and remember to maximize your health.